The trek I'm talking about is the Karnala Fort trek, which is hardly 50 kilometers away from Mumbai and can be reached under 1.5 hours. So take your car and come down here. By the way, car parking fee is 195 rupees and entry is 60 rupees per person. Once the payment is done, you can enter the sanctuary. Your bags will be checked, so be careful. A scenic road will take you to the base of the trek. Nice tar road with greenery on both sides, lined with boards about all the trees and birds found here. You will find a toilet as you walk a little ahead, and you can empty your bladder here before starting the trek. The start of the trek is distinctly marked with a board, so you don't have to ask around. Near the start of the trek also there is a toilet, just in case you forgot to use the toilet before. The path is really defined, so it makes the trek easy. The entire distance of the trek is 2.15 kilometers and can be covered in 1.5 hours or 2 hours max. If you're like me who wants to do at least one trek in the monsoon season but is just confused which one to do, then Karnala trek is the best option. Or if you are someone who wants to trek but are an amateur, then also Karnala is a good option. Or if you just want to do a trek for the heck of it and it should not be much tiring, then too Karnala is the best option. I wore shorts while trekking and would definitely advise against it, as there are a lot of insects and mosquitoes around and they will show no mercy in making your life hell. I had like 20 red spots on my legs once I finished the trek, and they itch real bad even after days. Within 10 minutes you will reach a shed which you can use to team up and strategize the trek, or to think whether you really want to continue the trek. Crabs are literally everywhere throughout the trek, white ones and dark brown ones. They're all excellent size and are not scared at all. Remember, you're walking through their area, so be ready for some resistance. I have to talk about the steps literally taken by the authorities here to ensure we have a good trek experience. Stones and an iron mesh have been placed at certain places for us to walk easily. By the way, if you have to take your camera with you, then you need to pay a charge at the entry. Even action cameras are charged. 15 minutes into the trek, you will come across a small stream of water. The water is pretty cold here. You can sit here for a while and relax, or else you can continue walking like we did. Now, if you don't have a private vehicle, you can take a train to Panvel station and go to the bus depot very nearby and take a bus to Pen or Chiploon or any bus going by the NS66. Before getting in any bus, do ask if it stops at Karnala, as some superfast buses won't stop. Ticket cost will be 10 rupees for women and 20 rupees for men. Getting a bus can be a little difficult, and hence the next option is a direct auto rickshaw, which will cost you 300 rupees. Ola and Uber are also an option. You can also explore the option of hitchhiking or finding shared taxis or private buses which go on that route. This part where the trees are cut down a little is risky to walk, as you may slip in on the wet mud surface. Around 40 minutes into the trek, we reached a point where we could see the signboard for Karnala Fort. From here the trek becomes a little easy, as you will come across several flat patches where you just have to hike. Since the Karnala trek is not that hard, you can walk with an umbrella if it's raining, but keep in mind that the higher you go, it will be very windy and you will get wet in the rain irrespective of you having an umbrella. So it's better to have a raincoat or a wind cheater or a poncho. The ideal attire for a trek would be a full-sleeved t-shirt, a full-sleeved pant, a trek shoes and a poncho, none of which I wore. You can check Decathlon for buying a poncho. I guess it starts from 699 rupees. If you compare with other famous treks, Karnala Fort trek is relatively easy, but it's not that easy. The first 30-40 minutes of the trek will be pretty tiring, as it's a complete uphill trek. You may pant like a dog who has just ran a marathon. Do not breathe from your mouth, as there is a high chance a mosquito may get sucked in your throat, and then it may be difficult to cough it out. I ate two. Apart from the mosquitoes, the crabs will also be ever present until you reach the top. Watch out for them, as they will surprise you quite often. Another important thing to keep in mind is that there is a major network issue here, and hence you should carry cash with you. At the entry, they only accept cash and no other mode of payment. At the restaurants, They have QR codes for Google Pay, but you may not have network, be it Airtel, Jio, or Vodafone. So carry cash. There are no ATMs nearby. In fact, the nearest ATM is some 6-7 kilometers away from the entry point. Almost an hour into the trek, you will start seeing handrails, which are really helpful in traversing through some difficult patches. Few minutes after the handrails start, there is a scenic spot to the right where you can sit and relax. The views are simply amazing. We sat here for at least 15 minutes and took rest. Just ahead of this scenic spot, there is another spot which again is beautiful. By this time, you already have reached at a very good height and you will get some good views while trekking. It can also get windy here and that will add to the fun. Personally, I am not a big fan of trekking and I've hardly done 10 treks in my entire lifetime. But when I trek, I feel very good. It's like doing cardio in nature. We inhale fresh and pure air, like it's just released by the trees for us, as opposed to the smoke we inhale in cities. And our heart beats faster, improving blood circulation. We breathe a lot, which is basically a workout for the lungs. And it's also said that anxiety and stress gets reduced when we are in nature. We also mentally motivate ourselves to keep moving forward and reach the top. And once we reach the top, then the view is just mesmerizing. The wind will play with us, rain will cool us down, and the clouds will hug us. Once the hand railing starts, you will reach the top in half an hour to 45 minutes. Before reaching the top, let me tell you a few details about the Karnala fort. So it's presumed to be built in the 13th century during the rule of the Yadavas of Devgiri, mainly to keep an eye on the trade routes passing through the Bhor Ghat. So basically trade between Konkan region and the Deccan Plateau. It then came under the Muslim rulers of Daulatabad before exchanging hands with the Sultan of Gujarat. Around 1540, the Nizam of Ahmednagar captured the fort from the Sultan. The Sultan then joined hands with the Portuguese to recapture the fort and they succeeded. The Nizam of Ahmednagar then attacked the fort with a large army of 5,000, seeing which the Sultan of Gujarat handed over the charge of the fort to the Portuguese. They successfully defended the fort but was eventually given to the Nizam at an annual fee of 17,500 rupees. From the Nizam, it went to the Mughals, and in 1670, Shivaji Maharaj defeated the Mughals and took over the fort. Later, it was given back to the Mughals as part of the Treaty of Purandar, only to be recaptured by Shivaji Maharaj. After his death in 1680, Aurangzeb took over the fort. Around 1740, the fort came under the rule of the Peshwas, and later the Britishers took charge of the fort. So, the fort you are trekking to has seen a lot of action back in the day. Here we are inside the fort. Nothing much remains of the fort now, so you won't need much time to explore the area. If you are planning to do this trek, please come on a weekday and make sure you start the trek at least before 11 am, or else you will have company along your trek and also on the fort. The more early you start, the better. If you can only come on the weekends, then be here as early as possible. Entry starts at 7 am, so wake up early in the morning and reach here by 7 or at least 8. After 11 on a weekend, this place will look like a market and there will be queues at narrow places to go up or come down. So to conclude, do this trek on a weekday, that too before 11 am, or else if weekends are the only possible option, start the trek as early as possible. We started the trek by 8:45 on a Monday morning and reached the fort at 10:30. There was no one on the fort or on the way and we could really enjoy the trek. It was only after an hour that we saw a few people reach the fort. We started our descent at 12 and reached the base by 1 pm. On the way, we met at least 7 to 8 groups making their way to the fort. The restaurant at the bottom starts by 10 am, so if you are coming before that, you will have to eat breakfast and come, or else carry something to eat. You have a water dispenser near the forest office below where you can fill some cold water and start your trek. That's my video on the Karnala Fort trek. If I have to describe this trek in 2 words, I will say worth it. So if you are in or around Mumbai and planning to go on a trek, keep the Karnala Fort trek in mind. It's simple, doable and beautiful.